Hello, everyone. Thanks for joining us today. My name is Sam, and I'm an artist from the Bay Area, and we're going to be doing some collage projects today. We're joined with the Palo Alto Arts Center, and I think this is our fourth session of doing these classes each week on Friday. So it's really awesome to have everyone be here today with me. We've been doing some really great fun projects. I want to encourage everyone to we're going to have you click on the bottom right of your screen to join the chat room. And Lucy Larson is the Director of Education at the Palo Alto Art Center, and she will be helping you guys with your chat questions today. So please feel free to do that. We're going to be doing a really fun project that I think kids of all different age groups can jump into. We're going to have some simple supplies today, and I hope you've brought a pen and a few pieces of paper so that we can do some drawing. We're going to do a little bit of a chess or checkerboard today. I'm going to show you how we can do that with collage paper. And this is a pretty complex chessboard. It's not too complex, something that I think all the kids that are watching today can maybe do. But we can also kind of simplify that just a little bit. If you and your brother and sister are feeling bored or feeling like you want something a little bit more simple to do, we're going to do a really small checkerboard that we can do even in a little notepad that you can draw on at home, and then use collage to create this checkerboard effect, guys. So we're going to jump right in, and I hope that you have your supplies with you. And I can show you lots of other kind of really fun things that you can do to add to your checkerboard to make it super cool, because my checkerboard is actually a chessboard. And I want to just show you before we start that I drew this one on a canvas. And instead of a piece of paper in a notebook, I actually drew this one on a canvas. And so it's got this, it's a real board. And what I can do with this, even though it's kind of on this kind of little flimsy canvas, I have some chess pieces, and they can actually go right there on the board. And I can play this like a real chess game. So if you know how to play chess, it's one of the things that my girls and I have been really excited about, kind of a game that we've been playing. So making a new chessboard that's all our own is pretty exciting stuff. And I will show you how to do that right now. I also just drew a couple of chess pieces that we can add at the end of the project too. So that's also really fun. We can do that as well. But without further ado, I want to help you guys kind of just do something smaller like this. And we're going to start that process. We're going to do some drawing right now. And we're going to draw a big square, the biggest square that you can draw on your piece of paper. I'm going to give you guys just 1 second to get that started. And then you can watch me draw the biggest square I can. Whatever size paper you have, draw the biggest square that you have. And so mine is going to be almost like a real chessboard size. I have a really big piece of paper, and so that's kind of fun. It allows me, see how I drew a big square, really big. And so a chessboard has 64 squares in it, and that means we're going to draw 7 lines one way, and then we're going to cross 7 lines inside our square the other way, okay? And I like to practice this. This is a really good drawing practice. If you mess up, that's really okay. Part of this practice and part of this project today, guys, is just practicing your drawing and then practicing using collage. So if you mess up and if you draw too many lines or your squares don't line up today, you know, part of this is just a big part of it is practice. I want you guys to just not get too caught up. If you feel like you mess up, it's okay to just start over and start again. But again, we're going to start with one big square, and I'm going to draw 7 straight lines. And I like to start from the bottom and draw up as opposed to the other way. I feel like I have more control with my pen because I can really put my hand down on on the page here, and I can just kind of steady my hand. I draw these really straight lines. So that's 1, 2, 3. And of course, you know, you can always grab a ruler. Some people are very, you know, a ruler is great for this, and you can really be very, very distinct with your lines, and that's great. I have no problem with that at all. I actually like to practice drawing straight lines with a freehand, because I feel like that's where you get better as a you know, with your hand. You practice this kind of thing. So 7 lines. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and then the last 2 I kind of accommodate. See how many lines do I have? How much space do I have? So I go 6, and then 7. So as you can see here, 7 lines is going to create 8 little columns here. And as you can see, it's not perfectly straight. I did a little shorter on this side and a little bigger here. It's okay, you know, like it's kind of fun to have it be just a little bit different. Again, you can come in with a ruler or start over again if you really just have messed up your grid, but that's okay. I'm just going to check this chat real quick, guys. I wanted to just to see if any questions. Okay, all right, and then I'm going to do the same on this other on this second side. So I'm going to cross the lines that I did here, and that's going to create a grid, and we're going to do 7 lines down this way as well, and then we're going to have this really big checkerboard effect. And again, feel free to use your rulers. I really like to do this freehand because I think it really is a fun challenge. And again, I like to go from the bottom up. I feel like my lines are straighter that way. If I do it this way, I just feel like I'm a little more cautious with my line, and I just go slower, but that's nice too. That's okay, that works. So 1, 2, we'll go 3, 4, 5, oops, 6, and 7. So again, that, you know, every once in a while I kind of mess this line up. That was not good, but I can always come back and redo that. But I like it when it gets a little bit. It doesn't have to be perfect, guys. This is kind of like making a checkerboard if you're going on a long car drive or something like that. So you can kind of almost do this in your notepad. And then from this, guys, we're going to make that checkerboard effect. So you know, I like to take the opportunity to kind of check. We're going to do, oops, that's not the right one. We're going to do every other square is a black and white square. And so doing this fast, I'm actually kind of messing up, but what this allows me to do is I'm going to switch to doing a collage really quickly onto this, guys. And so this is my, you know, and I can count this with you. It's really great because we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. And 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So that's 64 squares. And again, I did 7 rows and 7 column lines. And that is what a standard chessboard or checkerboard has. And so that's pretty easy to do, but sometimes I myself, as included, can mess that part up. So if you get stuck or if you have to start over from the beginning, that's okay. Just remember that it's a box with 7 lines and 7 rows, and then you can start doing your collage. And so this, for me, of course, guys, every week is my favorite part of the show. And my favorite part of being an artist is actually doing the collage part of it. And I'm going to start doing that with you guys as we work here. And you know, the idea for me is that, you know, there's a dark square and a light square, but it doesn't have to be really 100% black or white. You know, like I like to work in, you know, these different kind of variations of colors. And so what the first part of the project that I will take care of is I will block out all the dark squares. But when I'm looking through magazines and I'm looking to find those dark squares, guys, you know, it doesn't have to be just one single color. And I guess that's my point, is that I am going to be looking for today browns, purples, dark blues, dark greens, you know, all of that range of colors. So it doesn't have to be one. I just want to make sure that all of the dark squares that I have on my drawing, that for, you know, for my checkerboard, are all going to be dark. So it doesn't matter what color they are. You know, we could have one that could be brown, we could have a blue, we could have a green, we could have a dark red, we could have a dark orange even. I mean, you know, you start to get a little, and then the opposite is true as well. The light square colors could be, you know, maybe yellows and pinks, and then light blues and light yellows and light reds, and we're still sticking with that kind of that checkerboard theme. So for me, you know, we can do a really, really simple project like just filling in the squares here. And so the variation, meaning that like we could even simply start by just even coloring them in with a marker, just to kind of make sure that we don't make any mistakes. I have definitely made the mistake, guys, of coming in here and actually just, whoops, I messed up my checkerboard, and I did 2 squares that were dark, and now my board's all messed up. And so the cool thing about collage is that if you mess up, you can always go right over the top of it, like a little sandwich, a little hamburger bun. And so as I have blocked out and colored in my squares, I'm going to start filling in all these dark colors like we talked about with the dark squares. So let's do that. That's right, guys. I want this is the creative part of the project, everybody, and just the fun for me is really in the variation of what the colors that you can add to these particular dark or light squares can be. And so my first square that I'm choosing here is a very almost navy blue, almost a midnight blue. And instead of a true black, I just think that it really can add some nuance or some variation or some fun, creative, you know, you get to choose whatever you put down there, and there's no wrong way to do this. And so you can attack this project in a lot of different ways. You can just do all the dark squares first, and then move to the light squares, but you can also kind of cut as you go. And I think that I do a little bit of both. I move back and forth. I like to keep my mind active when I'm thinking about this. Every once in a while, I find myself going, this is hard. This is a lot of work. And the way I keep myself interested in keeping going is that I find new colors and new ways to kind of attack the project. And just like you were doing a jigsaw puzzle, or if you were doing some other kind of word game or something like that, you know, looking at your project with new ideas and new thoughts about it really keeps it fresh for me, because doing art is fun, but it also does take a lot of energy, and it takes a lot of work. And if you're focused on your artwork, you know, time can fly by, and it's really fun. But you really have to kind of be engaged in it, you know. So I'm just again looking through the magazine that I have today. Sometimes another challenge, guys, is that I'll be looking through a magazine and I'm looking for, again, like checker squares. So I just did one, and then I did a light color on the side there, and that's a light color. I'm looking for another dark square that I can fill in here now. Sometimes you won't find what you're looking for, and you just have to be a little bit patient. And for me, collage is about turning lots of paper over, looking at different magazines, paper, looking at different pages, looking for the colors that I'm looking for. And you know, you don't always find exactly what you're looking for. You kind of have to be creative in what you can use. So I'm going to use this light blue for another light square here. And you know, what the fun thing about this is that there's some variation that starts to take place, guys. And what I want to show you as we kind of begin to wrap up this idea of this project is that you're going to get this 1 and 2 kind of you know, kind of variation. You're going to get this, you know, your dark and light squares, and as you build that up, again, I think I'm just going to highlight this one as the finished project for you guys. One of the really cool things that you could do is you can actually you know, play on your actual board. And as you can see here, you know, this is a 64 square board, and it can actually be, you can actually do your own chess game on there, and you can really make this an intricate kind of customizable kind of board. And so some really fun ideas about once your board is finished. I'm just going to see if anybody has any questions about that. Yeah, looks like everybody's following along pretty well with that. A couple of some variations about using pieces for your board. This will take some time, guys, to create this. I did this big board here in one evening, and again, was just really paying close attention to the dark squares and the light squares. And again, it's very easy to get this confused if you're working on this and you're not paying attention. And if you get crossed up, if you feel like you messed up, you know, it's not too much of too big of a project where you can just kind of stop and start from the beginning again. So I encourage you to do that. It's all about having fun. If you're ever getting frustrated with a project that's like this and it starts to get confusing, it's a good time to stop, or it's a good time to kind of ask for help. That's always really good too. I have a really cool idea for creating a checkerboard that you can actually use pieces of coins for your checker pieces. Because you've made this at home, you know, we're all kind of stuck at home here. You know, using the things that we have at our house, guys, is really a great strategy to kind of build your chessboard. So, you know, I'm using like on one side I use the silver coins, and on the other side I'm using the pennies, and that's a super cool way to kind of just use what you have hanging around. Lucy Larson, the educational director at Palo Alto, also just recommended that we also can use little pieces from nature to kind of accentuate our board, to actually use as our checker pieces. I think that's a really cool idea, to kind of like actually go out and find your own checker pieces or chess pieces. I think that's like a really cool idea. And again, I just think that because this is something that you make on your own, it's even better to play your brother and sister on a checkerboard that you made yourself, or challenge your mom or your dad to a checker game that you made on your own notepad. And I think that is a really fun idea. And then, so the last idea that I have, guys, I'll share with you before we leave this afternoon, is that I encourage you. This is very simple to look up on Google, is to look up what chess pieces look like. And if you've never played chess, chess is a pretty fun game, and it's probably for kids that are over 5 at least. But that also that you can draw your chess pieces, and chess pieces are really cool, and they have lots of different variations of what they look like. But I encourage you, if you're into drawing like I am, that drawing chess pieces, and then my daughter did all the coloring on these ones today. I drew the pieces, and my daughter who's 5 went in and just decided to add her own little flair here. So that's fun. But I'm going to go out here, guys, and literally then go in and cut these out with my scissors, and just cut these just right on the line. And you will see as I'm just following the line with my scissors here. This is a little more detailed cutting than actually cutting the checker squares. But I have my chess bishop, which is really cool. And my chess bishop can go right on my chessboard. And he just lives on what looks like H7 there. Okay. And I know this board is a little bit, with these pieces, it might be harder to see, but the idea is that you really can create this all on your own. And I think this is a really fun idea. Guys, let me know how that works for you. There's lots of other variations that you can do with this as a game model idea. I think there's lots of other games that you can create with collage, especially, you know, maybe next week we can talk about even doing like a Chutes and Ladders or a Candyland type game that we could create. I mean, you could even be so bold as to create your own Monopoly if you had the time and the energy. That's the way I kind of think about things, because I like to collage and I like to do art with my hands. So if you're enjoying these projects, please let the Palo Alto Center know that you are enjoying this project and that you want to see more of these kind of projects. My name is Samuel Price. My Instagram handle is @SamuelSPrice, and you can learn lots of more about kind of the art that I create. I am doing large kind of doggy portraits like this, all with magazine paper. So everything that you see here, guys, today, everything that you see here is made with magazine squares, and that's really what I'm about. And I try to incorporate that kind of lesson planning into what we're doing. So if you're enjoying this kind of artwork and projects, please let the Palo Alto Art Center know. And I appreciate all your feedback, and I will see you guys next week at 11 o'clock a.m. on Friday. Every Friday we're doing this. So yeah, and please share your finished projects, guys. We love to see them. There's been so many great sharing with the art projects that we've been doing in the last few weeks. I'm so impressed with everyone. And this has been really, really fun for us. So we keep it up, and we'll see you next week, guys. Thanks again for being here, and have a great weekend. Talk to you soon. Bye-bye. Bye, Lucy. Thanks.